And thank you for joining me here today for this makeover video. Today I'm going to be focusing on some new products that I've got from a company called Jecca Blac. Now, Jecca Blac is a brand that I've been aware of for some time. They've done some work with Joseph Harwood in the past. Joseph is someone who I've always followed in terms of makeup tutorial videos on YouTube. But it's not a brand that I'd ever tried. And as you'll know, if you follow my videos, I'm quite frugal about when I spend money on new makeup things, because I like to use things that work and to stick with things that work for me. But this was an opportunity to work with them as a brand, but also to try out new makeup and to try products that I haven't tried before that are specifically addressing the needs of, let's say, a gender neutral community. Now, I thought I'd do a bit just to quickly expand a bit on what they do. I'm wearing some of the products here today. So everything that you're all kind of seeing here today and what you'll see through the tutorial is based on the underlying foundation of those products. The three products that I've used today, the first are these glow drops. So these are a skin primer. They're used to fill pores or fine lines in your skin, also to provide a sort of glow. I, again, have been using this for the first time. I tend to use these on the areas of my face where I'm not going to be applying beard shadow, but I also use them again to block pores and to try and create a kind of smooth finish. And again, it's worked very well for me today, but more on that later while I'm actually using it. The results themselves, I think, are really good. And this is something that I would always use a primer, but I typically will find that something like this lasts me for a very long time. So I'm not often buying this as a product, whereas I will buy other things like liquid lipsticks that tend to run out very quickly quite often. This is one of those things where you make a small this is one of the things where you make an investment, it lasts with you for some time. So I'm really excited to have this, because previously I've just been using freebies and stuff that I've got from Mac, for example, where I buy stuff online and I get to chuck in a free one. So this is nice to have something that's kind of purpose built. And again, this is really aimed at being a primer for gender neutral market. So not for him, not for her, for anyone. That's kind of the point of this. So as a primer, this is going to help to fill in pores on your face to basically create a more even look. And hopefully it's going to help with highlighting some of these areas where you want a bit more vibrancy to your skin. So I'm going to apply this all over, and then we'll have a look at the concealer as well. Because really, what I like about good makeup is when you can get relatively close to someone and it still doesn't look cakey, it still doesn't look too much, like you've really slapped on a lot of makeup. As a guy, you're always going to have to put quite a bit of makeup on. There's not much you can do about that. It's always going to be part of the routine, is a lot of makeup to cover up features and to sculpt and to generate something that's a bit more feminine in terms of your facial features. So there's always going to be a lot of product. The key thing for me here is to get the best results from the least product. That's always been my idea. The second product I'm using today, or I've used today, is this Correct and Conceal palette. Now, this is in the color Medium 3.0. So this was selected for me, and this consists of a color corrector and a concealer. Now, I traditionally just use a color corrector, and then I'll use a MAC foundation on top, the Pro Longwear foundation on top. Now, I've used today just the color corrector here, which I wanted to do as a sort of direct like-for-like replacement for my regular product. And I'm massively happy with this. This has been probably one of the most successful things I've tried recently, because I'm obviously, like everyone, really interested in covering beard shadow, being able to neutralize the blue tones that come through your skin. And what this has done, which I really love, is with a very light feel, it's covered that blue shadow and left me with this, which is literally just my normal process using this kind of apricot-y, I guess I'd call it sort of apricot shade rather than the red I normally use. This apricot shade has created a really lovely, fresh daytime feel to my makeup. This doesn't feel like my normal sort of heavy, oily applications, much as I try and keep it light. This feels a lot lighter, much more breathable, much more wearable, and on a hot day like today, it's quite a warm day today, it's been fantastic. Particularly fantastic for being able to feel like I'm, you know, I'm not, my skin isn't cracking because I'm, you know, I'm being too expressive or something. It feels really, really light, great coverage, and it's done the job. To be frank, I haven't even used the concealer. So I've yet to experiment with the concealer at all. I haven't used the concealer for my face in any way. I haven't used it on top of the correcting color corrector, and I haven't used it for example, dark bags under my eyes. I've literally just used the plain color corrector, set that, and used the foundation on top. And to get this as an outcome, I'm really, really happy with that. I think it's been fantastic. So thoroughly recommend this. If you're looking for a product which is designed specifically to cover beard shadow, specifically to cover your needs, but isn't necessarily heavy, oily, theatrical makeup, then this for me is perfect. If you are interested in their products, what they do is they provide a color matching service, and this for me is fantastic. It's a godsend. I did not choose this color. This color was chosen for me. So based on a photo of your jaw, so you don't have to send them a photo of your face, but a photo of your skin texture, they sort of skin color rather, you can take a photo of your jaw, send it in, and they will color match you to the best palette that would be suitable for you. And that for me is fantastic. I can't speak for people who have, you know, perhaps who have very, very dark beard shadow or anything else, but that's part of the matching process. I consider I have a reasonable beard growth. I mean, you've seen my beardy photos. So, you know, I can grow a beard with the rest of them. I can grow a beard with the best of them. So I consider I get a decent shadow, something that must be covered up. Otherwise, I have hell to play with my foundation. And this has been fabulous. So I'm actually looking forward to trying the concealer as well. But for today's purposes, I wanted to do a like-for-like replacement of my normal products with these ones. Okay, so I'm going to use my Coty Airspun powder to set this, just to make sure that I don't have anything untoward coming through in terms of blending with my foundation. I'll use it in a minute. And I'm going to use my normal MAC foundation, which I would use all the time, just to see how well this shapes up. So first thing I'd say is I've used a light covering today. I've used a very light application. It definitely feels like a lighter product than I would usually use, which is nice. It's always nice to be wearing or feel like you're wearing less of a layer on your face. And the last thing I used, which again I will cover off interspersing between this video, was this Sculpt and Soften palette, again from Jecca Blac. So they have sent me a bunch of things to be able to kind of experiment and to use these things and to see how they work for me. And this one has been really, really interesting for today, and I think you'll see that as you go through the tutorial video. What I find interesting about this is, again, it's a two-tone palette. So this is for contouring and highlighting. So when you see my normal videos where I put the light here, down the nose, around the eyes, down this part of the cheek, and I'll contour here, top of the forehead, jawline, etc. This is much more subtle than what I would normally do, which is why, for me, this has created what I consider to be a really great daytime look. The normal products that I use, which again are theatrical makeup, they're quite heavy. They're going to give you great coverage for sure, but very heavy products, and a little goes a long way with those. You know, you can really be over the top in terms of your application of them, which is why I tend to dab them on. I have to be quite careful. This, on the other hand, you see I've used both of them, so I've got a bit of, you know, brush marks in both of these today. What I find with this is it's much more subtle. So this was not creating the very bold, almost drag-like look that I would normally go for, but I have defined contouring on my cheek here. I have a really subtle contouring on my forehead, which is great. I do have the contouring on my jawline, and the highlight is working really, really well. So the highlight on my forehead, my chin, down the nose. This has created what I would consider to be a fantastic daytime wear. The big problem I find with my heavy over-the-top nighttime application, the very bold, striking, big lip type application, is that while it's great for nightclub, it's great for evening wear, big, bold, in-your-face looks, you know, in dark clubs and pubs and nighttime environments, etc. It's fantastic for that. For something that you want to be happy being seen in daylight, this is frankly a little bit of a revelation for me, because I didn't think I was able to do contouring that I would feel that would help me to shape my face, but I'd also feel comfortable going out in the day without something very heavy, very cakey on my face. And what this has delivered, and I do mean delivered, is a look that I feel is feminine, is shaping my face subtly. And I've gone for a very less is more type approach today. And this, I've been out in the daytime with this today, out in the sun. This is a look that I would happily wear out anytime, you know, for daytime wear. Shame I'm not doing, you know, Pride or any of those kind of things this year, because this would have been fantastic for that. Really, really fantastic. And this now, I think, has given me a way to incorporate that into my daytime wear. So to incorporate into my my daytime routine a sort of face shaping, sculpting routine, which is going to be able to to really support me going forward, which is great. Now, actually, when you buy this, and this was also useful because I'm always interested in picking up tips and picking up ideas. When you buy this Sculpt and Soften palette, you get a how-to guide, and this is great. This was actually created with Joseph Harwood. So if you know Joseph online, this was actually created in association with Joseph. It's got a load of information, background to contouring, background to makeup, how this has sort of come about, the kind of terminology that gets used in this industry, and really where this comes from in terms of history. So just interesting stuff about the history of contouring and, you know, theatrical makeup and stuff like that, which I think it's just fun, interesting reading. The main meat of this, however, is in the contouring basics section. So it has basics of understanding contouring. It has information about what to use. So to start a process, and I've kind of followed this today. My normal routine is very much along these lines. So I followed this today. It gives you some nice information about type of brush to use, which is all very useful. I've tended to go with whatever I had to hand, so I'm quite looking forward to perhaps looking at this in more depth and reconsidering, because I want to try to experiment with how I can use this more, let's say, adventurously, more interestingly, rather than just doing what I normally do, like for like replacement. But I wanted to see the difference today to really understand how good it is. But this also includes information on how to contour your face. So contouring the nose, softening your jawline, information on softening the chin, it's an interesting one. sculpting your chin, and plenty around shortening the forehead. All of those things that we need to do, enhancing your cheekbones. Again, the tick versus the straight line. I used to do the tick, I now move a bit more to the straight line. Either I can do, I don't think I do either of them particularly well, but it's part of the learning curve. So this, along with the bit about the finishing touches, how to finishing off, this I think is fantastic. I really like this as a guide, as a quick how-to thing to have in your pocket. I think this is fantastic. And you'll find that this is the kind of thing that will last for ages. You know, I'm not going to get through this anytime soon. This is going to last me for quite some time, just basically on the amount of makeup that I apply on a day-to-day basis. Having said that, I think I'll be tempted to do this a bit more often because, yeah, more use for the daytime. So those are the products. There's a link which I will be putting up on screen. It's also in the description where you can go and find the products on the Jecca Blac website. I'm going to be doing a few more videos about this just to try and see how best to incorporate this into my everyday routine. And yeah, I'm planning to sort of build up what I do a bit more around these products, because I think that the general ethos around them, the type of products they are, the fact that they're completely vegan, the fact that they're a very ethical product, I think is fantastic. And yeah, I was looking for something that is relevant to the kind of person that I am. And as much as I love buying off-the-shelf day-to-day makeup from your typical brands, you know, your Macs, your NYX, your whoever, they don't cater specifically for the type of person that I am. They have great products. I love using them. But what I guess Jecca Blac really specializes in is the foundation to build upon with all the rest of that good stuff. So what you won't find on their website is eyeshadows, for example. You won't find what I would call the products that are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. You know, everyone, you can buy cheap eyeshadows, you can buy very expensive eyeshadows, you can buy name brands, you can buy, you know, home store brands, whatever it is you want to get. The key thing about this is that it's focused on getting that base right. It's the color matching, so matching the color, helping to match it to your skin, understanding the needs of customers, and the fact that this is a difficult thing for some people to be able to ask for help on. They provide the typical plain packaging you'd expect, so you can get things sent to you through the post, and it's going to be anonymous. It's not something that you're going to have to worry about getting delivered, or the way that it's actually represented to you, which again I think is fantastic. And they really do provide a service for this community. So if you're one of those people out there who's struggling with beard shadow cover, I recommend check out the link below. Give them a try. Have a look at their products online, and yeah, I'll do some more stuff on these just to to try and support this, because I think it's a fantastic thing, well worth supporting. Anyway, thank you for your time today. Hope this was useful. Look forward to talking to you again soon. As ever, bye. Bye.